TIFU by keeping a second family binder and getting caught by my GFS parents. So, this happened last weekend, and I need to explain before you all grab your pitchforks. I am 26 years old, male, and I have been with my girlfriend, let's call her Sarah, for about 3 years now. Great girl, love her to death. Her parents, not so much. They never really liked me, thought I was shifty. Their words, not mine, anyway. Here's where it gets weird. About a year ago, I started this binder. A big black 3-ring binder. Label on the spine said second family, in all caps, Sharpie, real subtle, I know now. Before you picture some secret love child in the suburbs, let me explain. I am a writer, or I try to be. I write horror, creepypasta stuff, short stories, and this binder, it was my world-building Bible for a story. About a guy who actually does have a second family, a hidden one in the walls, in the floorboards, don't ask. It was supposed to be disturbing. I kept it at my desk, in my apartment, hidden in a drawer because, well, the title is Second Family. I didn't want Sarah to find it, read it out of context, and think I was planning something insane, which, ironically, is exactly what happened, just not the way I expected. So, last Saturday, Sarah's parents came over unannounced. As they do, they wanted to talk about my future intentions. Classic. Sarah was in the shower, I was in the kitchen making coffee, stalling. Her dad, he wanders into my office. Just looking around, he says. I hear the drawer open. I hear the binder slide out. I hear nothing for about 10 seconds. Then, what in the hell is this? He storms into the kitchen, holding the binder open to a page where I had drawn a floor plan of a house with little notes like family room, don't forget the screams, and basement, second family entrance, and photos. I had printed photos of random people from stock image sites, labeled the wife, the son, the daughter. It was research for atmosphere, for the vibe, but her dad, he wasn't feeling the vibe. He starts yelling, "You've got another family. You're hiding a second family," and I'm trying to explain. No, it's for a story, it's horror, I'm a writer, and he cuts me off. Writers don't have bindrs full of families, which, fair, I guess. Then her mom walks in, sees the binder, sees the floor plan, sees a page where I had written in red pen, "They will never find us." She starts crying, actual tears. "You're a monster," she says. "You're 26 years old and you're living a double life." Sarah comes out of the shower, towel on her head, confused. Her dad shoves the binder at her. She flips through it. Her face goes from confused to horrified to weirdly intrigued. "Is this a story?" she asks. "Yes," I say. "Thank you, yes, it's a story." Her dad points at a page. "Then why does this say pick up dry cleaning and call mom at the bottom?" Because, and here's where I really messed up, I had used the back of an old to-do list to print one of my family photos. I am cheap, I reuse paper, sue me. So now, her parents think I have a secret second family, and that I am so brazen that I write my real to-do lists in my evil binder. They think I am sloppy and a sociopath. They threaten to call the police. "This is fraud," her dad said. "This is bigamy paperwork." I don't think he knows what bigamy is. But he was loud. Sarah, bless her, tried to defend me. "He's just weird, Dad, he's always been weird." Which is not a great defense, but I'll take it. They left, eventually, but not before her mom said, and I quote, "If we find out you have children in another state, we will make sure you never see daylight again." Dramatic, but noted. Now Sarah thinks it's funny, in a "you're an idiot" kind of way, but her parents, they have scheduled a meeting with me and a family lawyer next Tuesday. At 7 p.m. I am expected to bring proof of my singularity. Their words, "I have spent the last 3 days printing out my Wattpad profile, my Reddit posts, my Google Docs history, anything that says this man writes fiction and is just deeply, deeply weird." So yeah, that's my life now. I am 26 years old. I have no second family, but I do have a binder. That has ruined my life, and a meeting with a lawyer to prove I am not a bigamist, because I wanted to write a scary story. TLDR, I labeled my horror story binder Second Family. My girlfriend's parents found it. They think I have a secret family. They are threatening legal action. I am now gathering evidence that I am simply a bad writer with terrible organizational skills. Wish me luck. Tuesday at 7. I'll update if I'm not in jail. AITA for banning my roommate from keeping his mysterious collection in our shared freezer. So, this is gonna be a long one. I mean, really long, because I need you to understand every piece of this, every layer. Every moment that led me to standing in my kitchen at 2 in the morning, staring at a freezer, wondering if I was about to destroy a man's sanity or save my own. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let me take you back to the beginning. I am 27 years old, male, living in a mid-sized city in the Midwest. The kind of place where winters last 6 months and summers feel like an apology. Rent has gone up every year since I moved here. Wages have not. Classic story, classic trap. So 8 months ago, in late October, when my previous roommate decided to move in with his girlfriend, I found myself scrambling. I had 30 days to find someone new or absorb the full rent myself, which I couldn't afford, not even close. I posted everywhere, Craigslist, Facebook groups, a bulletin board at the local coffee shop that I'm pretty sure nobody has looked at since 2019. I got responses. Lots of them, most were weird, some were alarming. One guy wanted to know if I was cool with ritual chanting on moon nights. Another asked if the apartment was spiritually cleansed after the previous tenant. I don't even know what that means. I said no to both, obviously. Then, on a Tuesday afternoon, I got an email from Derek, 31 years old, worked from home as a something. He said data analysis in his email, but later clarified it was pattern recognition for supply chain logistics, which sounds made up but apparently pays well enough. He included a photo, clean-cut guy, brown hair, light stubble, friendly eyes, the kind of face you'd trust to watch your laptop at a coffee shop while you use the bathroom. We met for coffee, a place downtown called The Grind. Terrible name, great lattes. He arrived 5 minutes early, ordered a black coffee. No sugar, no cream, sat down, shook my hand, firm grip, eye contact. He asked about the apartment, the neighborhood, the lease terms. He didn't ask about my zodiac sign or my spiritual beliefs or whether I was open-minded about alternative lifestyles. He just asked normal questions, gave normal answers, seemed like a normal person. I told him about the place. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, shared kitchen, shared living room, in-unit laundry, street parking. He nodded, took notes on his phone, actually took notes, like a professional. Then he said, I work from home. 9 to 5, sometimes later. I'll be in my room most of the day. I don't cook much, simple meals. I clean up after myself. I go to bed early. 10, 11, I'm quiet. I respect boundaries, and I pay on time. Always, it sounded too good. I waited for the catch. Any hobbies, habits, things I should know? He thought for a moment, sipped his coffee. I take long walks every morning, rain or shine, about 2 hours, clears my head, and I collect things. Small things, nothing that takes up much space, nothing messy, just little items, memories, mostly souvenirs from places I've been, people I've known. Collecting memories, I said. That's nice, poetic even. He smiled, a small smile. Sad around the edges. Yeah, memories, that's exactly what they are. We shook hands again. He saw the apartment the next day, loved it, signed the lease that weekend, first month's rent, security deposit, all in cash, counted out carefully. In hundreds from a leather wallet that looked older than he was. He moved in on a Saturday, November 3rd. I remember because it was the first snow of the season. Light, fluffy, the kind that makes everything look clean and new. He had a small moving truck, just him, no friends, no family. He carried everything himself, boxes labeled in neat, all-caps handwriting. Bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, office, collection. That last one caught my eye. 4 medium boxes, all labeled collection. He saw me looking and said, Don't worry, it's all going in my room, nothing shared spaces, promise. And it was true. He unpacked, put his dishes in the cabinet, his food in the fridge. His collection in his room. I never saw what was in those boxes, never asked. It was his business, his private space. I respected that. The first month was perfect, honestly, better than perfect. Derek was the ideal roommate. He did his dishes immediately after eating. He wiped down the counters. He took out the trash without being asked. He bought toilet paper, actual toilet paper, the good kind, 2-ply, not the sandpaper stuff my last roommate bought. He restocked the coffee filters, the dish soap, the paper towels. He even bought a plant for the living room, a small fern, named it Gerald. Every apartment needs a plant, he said. Gerald will watch over us. We didn't hang out much. Not friends exactly, more like respectful cohabitants. We'd chat in the kitchen sometimes. He'd ask about my day, I'd ask about his work. He talked about supply chains. I talked about my job at the insurance company. Neither of us was passionate about our work, but we both understood that rent doesn't pay itself. Common ground. He kept to his schedule religiously. Up at 6, Coffee, walk from 7 to 9, work from 9 to 5, sometimes 6. Dinner at 7, usually something simple. Chicken and rice, salmon and vegetables, the occasional frozen pizza, nothing fancy, nothing messy. Then he'd disappear into his room. Sometimes I'd hear typing, sometimes music, soft, classical, piano. Nothing loud, nothing disruptive. Bed by 10, lights out, apartment quiet. I could hear the radiator hissing, the fridge humming, the city breathing outside. It was peaceful, it was safe, it was home. December came, the holidays. I went to see my parents for a week. Derek stayed. Not much family to visit, he said. When I got back, there was a small gift on my bed, wrapped in brown paper, a book. The Remains of the Day, by Kazuo Ishiguro, with a note. Saw this at a used bookstore, thought you might like it. The butler collects memories too, though his are more complicated than rocks. Derek, rocks, he'd mentioned rocks, I remembered now, during one of our kitchen chats. He'd said something about collecting rocks from meaningful places. I hadn't thought much of it. People collect weird things. My aunt collected spoons from every state, every country, had hundreds, displayed on a wall. It was tacky, but harmless. Rocks seemed classier, more grounded. Literally, I thanked him. We had dinner together that night. Takeout Thai, split the cost, talked about books, movies, the snow, the cold. The way the city looked at night with all the holiday lights, it was nice. It was almost like having a friend. January arrived. The deep freeze, temperatures below 0 for 2 weeks straight, the kind of cold that hurts your face, that makes your car groan when you start it. That turns your breath into clouds you can see in the dark. Derek loved it. Good walking weather, he said. Clear, sharp, nothing fuzzy, everything in focus. I noticed something new around this time, a routine, every few nights. Maybe twice a week, I'd wake up around 2 or 3 in the morning, not from noise, just awake, insomnia, stress, work stuff. And I'd hear the freezer door, opening, closing, soft clicks. The kind of sound you don't notice unless you're already awake. The kind that blends into the background of a shared apartment. I assumed he was getting ice, or a midnight snack. Frozen berries for a smoothie, something healthy. Derek was healthy. He didn't keep junk food, no ice cream, no frozen pizzas in his section, just vegetables, fish, chicken, some kind of green smoothie mix in bags. The freezer was organized. His side, my side, clear boundaries, respectful division. I didn't think much of it. People have weird sleep schedules, weird cravings. I once had a roommate who ate pickles at 4 a.m. every night, straight from the jar, standing in the dark kitchen. Naked, that was weird. This was nothing. This was Derek being Derek. Quiet, respectful, maybe a little odd, but harmless. February, the routine continued. The midnight freezer trips, I started noticing patterns. He never took anything out, never put anything in, just opened the door, stood there for a minute, maybe 2, then closed it, walked back to his room, silent footsteps, door clicking shut. I asked him about it once. Casually, over breakfast. A Saturday, both of us in the kitchen, coffee brewing. Toast popping, I said, "You ever notice you make a lot of late-night freezer trips? You okay? Sleep issues?" He froze, literally froze, butter knife halfway to his toast for just a second. Then he smiled, that small, sad smile. "Oh. That, yeah, I check on things sometimes. Old habit, nothing to worry about, just making sure everything's preserved." Preserved? Frozen things last longer, he said. That's all. I like knowing things are lasting, that they're safe. It's a comfort thing from childhood. My mom used to check the freezer during storms, made sure we wouldn't lose anything if the power went out. I picked it up from her. "That's sweet," I said. "My mom used to check the locks 3 times before bed. I still do it sometimes, without thinking." "Exactly," he said. "Exactly like that, just a habit, a connection." We finished breakfast, talked about the weather. The upcoming Super Bowl, whether we should get a second plant for the living room. Gerald looked lonely. Derek thought a cactus would be good, low maintenance, like us. I let it go, the midnight trips, the checking, it was a quirk, a comfort. A connection to his mom. Who was I to judge? I had my own weird habits. I alphabetized my spice rack. I couldn't sleep unless the closet door was fully closed. I checked my email before I brushed my teeth, every morning without fail. We all have our things, but then March happened and everything changed. It started with space, or rather, the lack of it. I went to get some frozen peas for a stir-fry, a Tuesday evening. Routine dinner, opened the freezer. And I couldn't find them, not on my side, not on his. They were buried behind something new, something that hadn't been there before, a box, a long, rectangular plastic box, the kind you store photos in or craft supplies. Or trading cards, green, opaque, no label, just sitting there on the bottom shelf, taking up actual real estate. Pushing my frozen vegetables toward the door, making everything tight, crowded, I stared at it for a moment. Confused, we'd had this system for 5 months. His side, my side, no boxes, no containers, just bags and packages and the occasional ice tray. Where did this come from? When did it appear? I didn't ask him that night, I should have. But I didn't. I found the peas, wedged behind the box, made my dinner, ate in my room, watched TV, forgot about it, mostly. Then, a week later, there was another one, blue this time, same size, same shape. Stacked on top of the green one, 2 boxes, 2 containers of something taking up more space, pushing my food further toward the edge, making the door harder to close, the seal less tight. I mentioned it, casually, the next morning. Coffee again, our usual kitchen time. Hey Derek, noticed some new boxes in the freezer, you storing something special? Meal prep. He looked up from his phone, that flash of something in his eyes, fear, defensiveness. It was gone before I could name it. Oh right, those, yeah, that's my collection, part of it anyway. I needed to store some things. Cold storage preserves them better, I'll try to keep it compact. Promise. Your collection? I asked. I thought your collection was in your room, the boxes from when you moved in. Different collection, he said. Related but different. This is the temperature-sensitive part, the part that needs to stay cold, to stay intact. I laughed. Nervously, intact. Derek, what are you storing? Frozen fish, ice sculptures, a Yeti. He didn't laugh back, he just said, it's personal, but I promise, it's nothing dangerous, nothing that will affect you, nothing illegal. I just need the freezer space, temporarily, until I can get a secondary storage solution. Secondary storage, like a deep freezer? Exactly, like a deep freezer. I'm looking at options, should have one in a few weeks, month tops. Then I'll move everything out, you'll have the whole freezer back, cross my heart. He actually crossed his heart, finger tracing an X on his chest, like a kid making a promise on the playground. It was endearing and weird. And slightly unsettling, but mostly endearing, I agreed, reluctantly. Okay, a month, but keep it to your side, and maybe let me know if you're adding more so I'm not surprised. Of course, he said, full transparency. Starting now? That was a lie, I know that now, but I didn't know it then. I believed him, because he seemed trustworthy, because he'd been a good roommate, because I didn't want conflict, because I am, and my therapist will confirm this, chronically conflict avoidant. I will let things slide until they become avalanches, until they bury me. And then I wonder why I'm cold and dark and can't breathe. The boxes multiplied, slowly, steadily, like a fungus, like a secret. Week 4, there were 3, green, blue, red. Week 5, 4, added yellow. Week 6, 5, purple joined the family, each one identical in size, different in color, each one opaque, unlabeled, mysterious. Taking up more and more space. My frozen pizza, stacked on top of them now, my ice cream wedged into the door, my emergency frozen burritos, forget about it, no room, I had to start buying fresh, which was healthier, sure. But more expensive, more planning, more effort, and I missed my burritos, they were my comfort food. My 2M sadness meal, now I had to make sandwiches. Sandwiches are not the same, I asked again. Week 6, more directly, Derek. The boxes, there's 5 now, you said a month, it's been 6 weeks. When are you getting the deep freezer? He sighed, ran a hand through his hair. I know, I'm sorry, the one I wanted is backordered, supply chain issues. Ironically, given my job, I can't find a good used one either. Everyone's selling broken ones, or ones that smell like dead fish. I'm being picky, I shouldn't be. I'll find something soon, 2 more weeks. 3 max, 3 more weeks. 3, absolute max, and I'll keep it to 5 boxes, no more, I swear. 3 weeks passed, there were 7 boxes, green, blue, red, yellow, purple, black, white, the full rainbow, the full spectrum. They took up the entire bottom shelf. They took up half the middle shelf. My food was crammed into the top shelf and the door. I had to play Tetris every time I wanted a bag of frozen broccoli, rotate boxes, shift containers. Apologize to the frozen peas for their cramped conditions. And the midnight trips, they increased. Every night now, sometimes twice, I'd hear the freezer open, the soft hum of the compressor, the click of the door, then silence, then another click. He was checking them. Opening, closing, like a ritual, like a prayer. I started losing sleep, not from the noise was minimal, but from the awareness. The knowledge that something was happening in my kitchen. Something I didn't understand, something my roommate wouldn't explain. Every time I heard that freezer door, I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering, imagining, creating scenarios in my mind that grew darker and more elaborate with each passing night. Was it drugs? Seemed unlikely. Derek didn't seem like a drug guy, no track marks, no erratic behavior, no sketchy visitors, no strange smells, but what did I know? People hide things, people surprise you. Was it money, cash? Frozen assets? Literally, I'd heard of people freezing cash to preserve it, to hide it, to keep it from degrading, but 7 boxes, that would be a lot of cash. More than a data analyst would have, unless he was doing something else. Something illegal, something that required cold storage. Was it? Worse, the thought crept in slowly, like fog, like cold. What if it was organic? What if it was body parts? I know how that sounds, paranoid, insane. The kind of thing you think at 3 a.m. when you can't sleep and your brain is trying to scare you. But the boxes were the right size, the right shape, the right weight maybe, and the secrecy, the obsession, the midnight vigils, it fit. In a horror movie way, in a I've watched too much true crime way, I tried to shake it off. I really did. I told myself I was being ridiculous, that Derek was a good guy, that good guys don't hide body parts in shared freezers. That this was just a quirk, a phase, a temporary situation that would resolve itself when the deep freezer arrived, but the deep freezer never arrived, and the boxes kept growing, and my anxiety kept building, and one night. In late March, I hit my breaking point. It was a Thursday. I had a terrible day at work. Client yelled at me for 45 minutes about a claim denial. My boss sided with the client. My lunch was a sad desk salad that tasted like regret. I came home at 7, exhausted, defeated, wanting nothing more than a frozen pizza and a beer and mindless television. I opened the freezer, and there, on the top shelf, where my last frozen pizza had been, was box number 8. Orange, bright orange, like a warning sign, like a traffic cone, like a scream in color. My pizza was gone, not moved. Gone, evicted, banished. I searched the entire freezer. The fridge, the counter, the trash, nowhere. He'd thrown it out or eaten it, or, I don't know, but it was gone, and in its place was another box. Another mystery. Another inch of my sanity carved away. I stood there, staring at that orange box. My hands shaking, not from cold, from anger, from frustration, from months of suppressed confusion and anxiety and politeness and avoidance. All boiling up, all demanding release. I knocked on his door, hard, 3 times, no response. I knocked again, louder. Derek, I need to talk. Now the door opened. He was in sweatpants, no shirt, hair messy, eyes red like he'd been crying or sleeping or both. What's up? He asked, voice thick, groggy. What's up? I repeated. Derek. There are 8 boxes in our freezer. 8, you said 5 max. You said a month. It's been almost 3 months. You threw out my pizza, my last pizza, to make room for another box, and you still won't tell me what's in them. What's going on? What are you hiding? He blinked, slowly, like he was processing, like my words were coming through a filter, a delay. I'm sorry about the pizza. I didn't know it was your last one. I needed the space. Temporarily. The orange one, it couldn't wait. It needed to be frozen immediately, or it would degrade. Degrade, I stepped closer, into his doorway, into his space, something I'd never done before. Derek, what degrades if it's not frozen? What are we talking about here? Because my mind is going to some really dark places. And I need you to tell me, right now, what is in those boxes, or I'm going to, I don't know, call someone, the landlord, the police, I don't know. But this has to stop. He went pale, actually pale, the color draining from his face like water from a tub. The police, you'd call the police? I don't want to, I said, but you're not giving me a choice, you're hiding something. Something that requires freezing. Something that multiplies, something you check on every night like your life depends on it. What am I supposed to think? What would you think? He looked down at his feet, at the carpet, at nothing for a long time. Then he looked up and his eyes were wet, not crying, not yet, but close on the edge. Okay, he said. Okay, I'll tell you, but not here, not in the doorway. Come in, sit down, and please just listen to the whole story before you judge, before you decide what to do. Promise me you'll listen to the whole thing. I hesitated, standing in his doorway, looking into his room. I'd never been in there, not once. Not in 5 months. It was always closed, always private. Now, I could see part of it, a desk, a computer, a bed, neat, clean, minimal, and on the desk, a photo frame facing away from me. I couldn't see who was in it. Okay, I said, I'll listen, whole story, no interruptions. He stepped back, let me in, closed the door. I sat on his desk chair. He sat on his bed, cross-legged, like a kid at story time. He took a deep breath, let it out. And he began. My mom died when I was 12, he said. Cancer, pancreatic, fast, brutal, 3 months from diagnosis to funeral. I didn't get to say goodbye. She was unconscious for the last 2 weeks. Sedated, pain management. I just sat by her bed, held her hand, waited for her to wake up, to open her eyes, to see me one more time. She never did. He paused, swallowed, continued. After the funeral, my dad took me to the cemetery. The plot was on this hill, overlooking a small lake. There was a tree nearby, an oak, big and old, probably 100 years, maybe more, and at the base of that tree, there was this rock. Gray, rough, about the size of a softball, nothing special. Just a rock in the dirt among other rocks, other dirt. But my dad, he knelt down, picked it up, brushed it off, handed it to me, and he said, "Your mom loved this spot before she got sick, when she was still her. She used to come here just to sit under this tree, looking at the lake. She said this rock was her thinking spot, her quiet place. When the world got too loud, she'd come here, touch this rock, and she'd feel better. She wanted you to have it. To remember her by, to remember that even when things are hard, there's always a quiet place, always a rock to hold on to." Derek's voice cracked just slightly. On the word hold, he paused, gathered himself, went on. "I took it. Of course I took it. I was 12. My mom was dead. And my dad was giving me the last piece of her he could find, a rock, a stupid, gray, rough rock. I kept it on my nightstand, every night, for years, through middle school, high school. College, my first apartment, my first job, it was always there. I talked to it sometimes. Not out loud, in my head, I'd tell it about my day, my fears, my hopes, and I'd imagine my mom hearing me, through the rock. Like it was a telephone, a connection, a line to somewhere else. 3 years ago, I moved here for this job, new city, new start. I packed carefully. The rock was the first thing I packed, wrapped in bubble wrap in a small box. Labeled fragile, do not drop, important. I watched the movers load it. I watched them carry it. I thought it was safe. But when I unpacked, it was gone. The box was there, the bubble wrap was there, the rock was not. I tore the apartment apart, called the moving company, checked every box, every bag, every pocket, twice, 3 times, 10 times. It was just gone, lost. Somewhere between my old life and my new one, somewhere in the cracks, in the void. In the place where lost things go. He stopped, looked at me, checking for understanding, checking for judgment. I kept my face neutral, kept my promise, no interruptions. The depression was bad, he continued. Worse than after my mom died, because then, at least I had the rock. At least I had something to hold, something to talk to. Now I had nothing, just emptiness. A nightstand with nothing on it, a connection that had been severed. I took a leave of absence from work, started therapy, tried medication, nothing helped. The rock was gone, my mom was gone, and I had nothing left. Then, about a year ago, I found it, online, on some geology forum. Someone had posted a photo, found this weird rock in a cemetery in my hometown. Anyone know what kind it is? And there it was, my rock, gray, rough, the exact same shape, the exact same size, the exact same everything. Sitting on a windowsill in some stranger's house, 6 hours away, in a town I'd never been to, held by a person I'd never met. I messaged them, explained everything, begged, offered money, $200, $500, $1,000. I would have offered more, I would have offered everything, but they wouldn't sell. They said they liked it, that it had good energy, that they'd found it fair and square. I explained that it wasn't just a rock, that it was my mother's memory, my connection. My last piece of her. They said they were sorry for my loss, but the rock was theirs now. Finders keepers. He laughed, a bitter, broken sound. Finders keepers, like we were children on a playground. Like my mother's memory was a toy someone else had picked up. I drove there. 6 hours, knocked on their door, pleading, crying, begging on my knees. They threatened to call the police. Said I was harassing them, said I was unstable. Said they'd keep the rock just to spite me now. I went home, defeated, destroyed, more broken than before. But I couldn't let it go. I couldn't accept that it was gone forever, that some stranger had my mom's rock, my mom's memory, my mom's quiet place. So I started collecting rocks that looked like my rock from everywhere. Garage sales, estate sales, hiking trips, online marketplaces. I'd see a rock that reminded me of hers, and I'd buy it. Or take it and I'd bring it home and I'd freeze it. Why freeze them? I asked, breaking my promise, but I had to know. He looked at me, not angry, just resigned, because memories fade, but frozen things last forever. If I keep them cold, they can't erode, they can't change, they can't be lost again. They stay exactly as they are, exactly as I remember. If I let them warm up, even for a day, they start to I don't know, decay in my mind. The memory gets fuzzy, the details slip away, the connection weakens, but when they're frozen, they're perfect, they're preserved, they're safe. No one can take them, no one can lose them, they're mine, forever. I sat there in his desk chair, staring at this grown man, this data analyst, this quiet, respectful, good roommate, explaining that he freezes rocks to preserve his dead mother's memory because he lost the original, and now he's compulsively collecting lookalikes and storing them in my freezer. How many? I asked. How many rocks? 23, he said. 7 here, the rest at my sister's house in her deep freezer. She knows, she understands. She lost mom too, she doesn't freeze hers. But she lets me store mine. I was going to get my own deep freezer, but then I found another one, and I couldn't stop. Each one feels like maybe this is the one, maybe this one is close enough. Maybe if I find enough of them, I'll find mom again, I'll find that feeling, that quiet, that connection. He was crying now, full tears, running down his face, not wiping them, just letting them fall. I know it's crazy. I know it doesn't make sense, my therapist knows. She says it's a coping mechanism, a grief response. Harmless as long as it doesn't interfere with my life, but I know it has. I know it's interfering with yours, with our apartment. With our, whatever we are, roommates, almost friends, and I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but I can't stop, not yet, not until I find the real one or something close enough, or, I don't know, something. I didn't know what to say. I genuinely didn't. My anger had evaporated, replaced by pity, concern, fear, all of it, none of it. I didn't know how to feel. This wasn't what I'd expected, not drugs, not money, not body parts, just grief, just pain. Just a boy who lost his mom and couldn't let go of a rock. Derek, I said, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry about your mom, I really am. I can't imagine, but this isn't healthy, you know that, right? Freezing rocks won't bring her back, it won't find the original, it's a band-aid on a wound that needs surgery. I know, he whispered, I know, but it's the only band-aid I have, the only thing that stops the bleeding. Even for a little while. We sat in silence, the radiator hissing, the fridge humming, the city breathing outside, 2 men in a small room, surrounded by invisible grief, tangible pain. I need you to move them, I said, finally. The words coming out slow, heavy. Not because I don't care, not because I'm cruel, but because this is a shared space, and because I think you need more help than frozen rocks, real help, intensive help, and keeping them here. It's enabling you, it's letting you avoid dealing with this. I'm sorry, I really am, but they can't stay. You have 2 weeks, find another freezer, or get rid of some or figure something out, but they can't stay here. He looked at me. And his face, I will never forget his face. It wasn't anger, it wasn't fear, it was devastation, like I'd killed his dog, like I'd burned his house down, like I'd destroyed something precious and irreplaceable, something he'd built carefully, painfully over months, over years. You don't understand, he said. You can't understand these rocks. They're not just rocks, they're memories, they're mom, and if they thaw, even for a day, I'll lose her again. I'll lose everything, again. Do you want that? Do you want me to lose my mom again? He was manipulating me, I knew it. Even then, even in the moment, it was emotional blackmail, guilt-tripping, using his grief as a weapon. But it worked. It almost worked. Because I did feel guilty. I did feel responsible. I did feel like I was taking something from a hurting man, something he needed, something that kept him anchored, but I held firm, or I tried to. 2 weeks, I said, I'm sorry. But 2 weeks and, Derek, I think you should tell your therapist about this conversation, about the freezing, about how many you have, about how you can't stop. I think you need more help than you're getting, and I hope you get it. I really do. I stood up, left his room, closed the door, and I didn't sleep that night or the next or the next. He didn't speak to me for 3 days, complete silence, passing in the hallway without eye contact, making coffee in the morning without our usual chat, eating dinner in his room instead of the kitchen. It was like living with a ghost, a presence, a weight. Then, day 4, the notes started, on the fridge, handwritten. In his neat all-caps script, day 4 without freezing, the gray one is already fading, I can feel it. The cracks are starting, in my mind, the memory is cracking. Day 5, the blue one has cracks now too, the details are slipping. The texture, the weight, I can't remember exactly how it felt, how it looked, it's going. Day 6, please, just 1 more week, I'm begging you, don't let her disappear again. I didn't respond, I couldn't, what was I supposed to say? Okay, freeze your rocks, forget therapy, let's pretend this is fine. No, I held firm, or tried to, but every note was a weight, every message a stone on my chest, making it harder to breathe, harder to sleep. Harder to believe I was doing the right thing. Day 7, I came home from work, exhausted, defeated, wanting nothing more than to collapse on the couch and watch something mindless. I opened the freezer to get some ice for a drink. And it was empty, all 8 boxes. Gone, the bottom shelf bare, the middle shelf clear, just my food, my pizza, my peas, my ice cream, space, so much space. I checked his room. The door was open. Empty, closet open, empty, bathroom. Empty, the apartment was quiet, too quiet. No radiator hiss, no fridge hum, just silence and absence. He'd moved out in the middle of the day while I was at work, taken everything, all his boxes, all his clothes, all his dishes. All his food, even Gerald, the fern, gone, the only thing left. A note on the kitchen counter, just one line in his neat, all-caps handwriting. You preserved nothing, you destroyed everything. I sat at that counter for an hour, maybe more. Staring at those words, feeling them sink in, feeling them become true, because in that moment, I did feel like I destroyed something fragile, something broken, something that had been held together by frozen rocks and midnight rituals and desperate hope. I tried calling him, number disconnected. I emailed, bounced back, I texted, delivered but never read, or read but never answered. He was gone, ghosted, erased, like he'd never been there, like the past 5 months had been a dream. A hallucination, a story I'd told myself. His sister called me, 3 days later, yelling, screaming, "You cruel bastard, you heartless monster, you triggered a relapse." He's in a bad place now, living in his car with his rocks in coolers. Buying ice every day, spending his savings on gas station ice. Because he can't afford another freezer. Because you took his home away. Because you couldn't share a little freezer space for a grieving man. What kind of person are you? What kind of monster? I tried to explain, tried to tell her what he'd told me about the rocks, the collection, the compulsive behavior, the therapy that wasn't enough. She didn't want to hear it. He's grieving, she said. Grief doesn't have a timeline, grief doesn't have rules. You don't get to decide how someone mourns, you don't get to take away their comfort. Their coping, their connection to mom, you had no right at all. She hung up. And I sat there in my quiet apartment with my empty freezer. And I wondered if she was right, if I had been cruel, if I should have been more patient, more understanding, more willing to share my space for a little while longer. Until he found a deep freezer, until he worked through it in therapy, until he was ready to let go on his own terms. His friends started messaging me on Facebook, Instagram, even LinkedIn, which felt particularly aggressive. Heartless, cruel, you destroyed a good man. Hope you're happy with your empty freezer. Enjoy your pizza, monster. I blocked most of them, but the words stuck, the judgment, the certainty that I was wrong. That I was the villain in this story. I talked to my therapist about it at our next session. She listened, nodded, asked questions. Did you feel safe? Yes, mostly, but the secrecy was unsettling. Did you try to find a compromise? I gave him months. Multiple conversations, multiple deadlines. Did you understand his grief? I think so, as much as I can, but grief doesn't excuse everything, right? It doesn't give you unlimited permission to take over shared spaces. To manipulate, to refuse help. She was quiet for a moment, then she said, "You're not wrong for wanting boundaries, you're not wrong for being concerned, but, and this is important, you might have been wrong in your delivery, in your timing, in your inability to see a middle ground. Sometimes the kindest thing we can do is also the most painful, and sometimes the most painful thing we do is also the most necessary. Only you can know which this was. Only you can live with the consequences. Only me, living with the consequences, the empty freezer, the empty room, the note on the counter, the guilt that woke me up at 3 a.m. wondering if he was cold, if his rocks were melting, if his memories were fading, if I'd destroyed the last thing keeping him together. I kept the note, framed it almost, a reminder, a weight, a stone of my own to carry. 2 months passed, March into April, April into May. The weather warmed. The snow melted. The city came alive again. I got a new roommate, a woman named Claire, normal, boring, wonderful, no collections, no midnight rituals, no frozen mysteries, just a person living their life, respecting the space. I almost didn't know what to do with the normalcy, with the peace. Then, a package arrived, no return address, postmarked from a town I'd never heard of, medium box, heavy, wrapped in plastic, frozen solid. Dry ice still sublimating when I opened it, fog rolling out, cold biting my fingers. Inside, a small box, wrapped in more plastic, more insulation. I opened it carefully, and there, nestled in foam, was a rock, gray, rough. About the size of a softball, frost still clinging to its surface, melting slowly on my kitchen table, and a note, in Derek's handwriting, that neat all-caps script I knew so well. Found the real one, the original, the person moved. Sold their house, left it behind in the garden, buried under some weeds. I went back, dug it up. It's home now, on my nightstand, where it belongs, warm, real, alive. You can throw this one away or freeze it. Or keep it on your desk, I don't care. It's just a rock, one of many copies, one of many frozen memories that weren't real, that weren't Mom, that were just cold rocks. Placeholders for something I couldn't let go of. I'm sorry for the note I left. You preserved nothing, you destroyed everything. That wasn't true, you didn't destroy anything. I did, by holding on too tight. By freezing everything instead of feeling it. By collecting rocks instead of memories. By trying to preserve Mom instead of letting her go. You pushed me. I hated you for it. I really did, for WEKS, I dreamed about your freezer, about those 8 boxes, about the orange one that replaced your pizza. I was angry, bitter, broken, but you were right. Frozen memories aren't memories, they're just cold, hard, dead, and Mom wasn't dead. Not really, not in the ways that matter. She was warm and laughing and alive, and I could only remember that when I stopped trying to freeze her. I'm in a better place now, therapy 3 times a week, no more freezer collections. No more midnight vigils, just the one rock, the real one, on my nightstand. And photos of Mom on my wall. And stories about her that I tell out loud to friends, to my sister, to my therapist, to myself, warm stories. Alive stories, not frozen, not preserved, just remembered. Take care, and thank you for being the villain I needed, even if I didn't want you, even if I hated you. You were the cold that forced me to find warmth. The loss that forced me to find what I really had, what I really needed. What Mom really was, not a rock, not a freezer, not a collection, just love, just memory, just letting go. I read that note 5 times 10. Sitting at my kitchen table, the rock melting slowly, water pooling on the wood making a dark stain, a mark, a memory. I cried for a long time at that table, holding a cold rock, feeling it warm in my hands from my body heat. From my tears, from my grief, not for Derek's mom, but for something else, for the weight of being human, of being wrong, of being right, of not knowing which was which, of hurting someone to help them, of helping someone by hurting them, of the impossible math of love and boundaries and grief and growth. I kept the rock, not frozen, not preserved, just there on my desk, a paperweight, a reminder, a conversation starter when people ask, "Why do you have a rock on your desk?" And I tell them this story, the long version, the full version, the version that takes time, that takes breath, that takes heart, and sometimes, at 2 in the morning, when I can't sleep, I touch that rock. Feel its texture, its weight, its warmth, and I think about Derek, about his mom, about grief, about the things we freeze to keep safe, and the things we have to let thaw, to let go, to let live. Am I the asshole? Maybe, maybe not. I was the villain in his story for a while, the monster who banned his collection, who pushed him out, who forced him into his car with coolers and gas station ice. But I was also, accidentally, the catalyst, the cold that forced warmth, the no that made him find yes, the end that became a beginning. I don't know if that makes me good or bad or just human, flawed, trying, doing my best with what I knew, with what I felt, with what I could bear. What I do know is this. I got a message from Derek last week. 6 months after the rock, after the note, after everything, just a photo, no words, a nightstand, small, wooden, simple, and on it, a rock, gray, rough, about the size of a softball. Next to a photo frame, facing the camera, a woman smiling, warm, alive, his mom, young, healthy, happy, the way he remembered her, the way she was before, but also, always now in the stories, in the warmth, in the letting go. I looked at that photo for a long time, then I looked at my own desk, at my own rock, at my own memories, and I sent back a message, just one word, beautiful. He replied, 2 words, thank you, and that was it, the end of the story. Or the beginning of whatever comes next. For him, for me, for all of us trying to figure out how to hold on without freezing, how to remember without preserving, how to love without possessing, how to be roommates, friends, strangers. Humans together, apart, lost, found, so. Reddit. Am I the asshole for banning my roommate from keeping his mysterious collection in our shared freezer? I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't think any of us truly knows about this. About anything, we're all just doing our best with our freezers, with our rocks, with our grief, with each other. Thanks for listening, for reading, for being here. I'm gonna go call my mom now, tell her I love her, while I still can. While she's still warm, while the memory is alive, not frozen, not preserved, just real, just now, just everything. Take care of each other. And maybe, check your freezers not for secrets, but for the things you're trying to keep too cold, too safe, too preserved. The things that need to thaw, to breathe, to become something else, something warmer, something alive. That's all, that's the whole story, longer than I expected, heavier than I wanted. But true as I can make it, as true as memory allows, as true as a rock on a desk. Melting, warming, becoming just a rock, and also everything. My fiancé canceled our wedding over a joke message, so I let his boss see it. So, this is going to take a while, because I need you to understand everything. Every single step that led me from being a bride 3 weeks out from her wedding, to being single, unemployed, and sleeping on my sister's couch, wondering if I did the right thing, wondering if any of it was worth it, wondering if justice and revenge are just different words for the same empty feeling. I am 29 years old, female, living in a city I don't want to name because too many people involved might read this. Working in marketing at a mid-sized tech company, the kind of place with free snacks and standing desks and a culture committee that plans team-building events nobody wants to attend. I've been there 4 years. Climbed from intern to senior coordinator. Not glamorous, but stable, predictable, safe. My fiancé, ex-fiancé, let's call him Brad because he looks like a Brad. Tall, blonde, jawline that could cut glass. Smile that could sell you a car you don't need. 32 years old, sales director at a different company, different industry, more money, more confidence, more everything. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party 2.5 years ago. He was charming, attentive, the kind of guy who remembered your drink order, your mother's name, the story you told 3 weeks ago about your childhood dog. He listened, or seemed to. He made you feel seen, or seemed to. He made you feel like the only person in the room, or seemed to. We moved in together after 8 months. A nice apartment, 2 bedrooms, one we used as an office. His office mostly. I worked from the kitchen table or the couch. He needed the desk, the monitors, the professional setup. For calls, he said, for presentations, for closing deals. I understood, I accommodated, I was supportive. That's what good partners do, right? The wedding planning started a year ago, smallish, 80 people, a venue outside the city, a barn converted into an event space, rustic chic, string lights, wooden beams. The kind of place that looks effortless but costs a fortune. My parents were paying for most of it. They'd saved for years. Our only daughter, my mom said, only happens once. I didn't have the heart to tell her that statistically it might happen twice. Or more. I just smiled, said thank you, let them dream. Brad's parents were divorced, remarried, blended families on both sides, complicated seating charts, awkward rehearsal dinner dynamics. He didn't talk about them much, just managed them like clients, like accounts, like people he had to keep happy but didn't particularly like. I thought that was sad but normal. Lots of people have complicated families. I was lucky. Mine was simple, warm, close. Maybe too close, but close. The wedding was 3 weeks away when it happened. Saturday, June 14th. A date we'd picked because it was the anniversary of our first date. Romantic, meaningful, the kind of detail that makes a good story. That makes people say aw at the reception. That makes the wedding video slightly more interesting. I'd spent the morning with my mom, final dress fitting, final menu tasting. Final panic attack about whether the florist understood that dusty rose was different from blush pink, and if we ended up with blush pink I would actually die. Not literally, but emotionally, dramatically, bride lie. I came home around 4, exhausted, happy, overwhelmed, ready to collapse on the couch with Brad and tell him everything about the dress, about the cake, about my mom's happy tears, about how real it was starting to feel, how close, how terrifying, how wonderful. But Brad wasn't home. His car was in the garage, but he wasn't in the apartment. I checked the office, the bedroom, the bathroom, nothing. Then I heard it, the balcony. He was outside on his phone, pacing, voice low. Intense, not angry, but focused, the way he got during important work calls, the way he got when he was closing a big deal. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, I really didn't, but the balcony door was cracked and his voice carried. And I heard my name. Emma doesn't know, she can't know, not before the wedding, not after, never. This stays between us, you understand? I'm not risking everything I've built, everything I'm about to have, the house, the career, the image. She's part of that image, the supportive wife, the happy couple, the Instagram-worthy life, but you're the reality, you're what I actually want, what I actually need, just not publicly, not yet, maybe not ever. But that doesn't change how I feel, how I've always felt, since before her, since before all of this. Silence. Then, I know it's not fair, I know you deserve better, but this is how it has to be. For now, the wedding happens. We play the part and then, we figure it out, we always figure it out, we always have. More silence. Then, I love you too, I have to go, she's coming home soon, I'll call you tomorrow. From the office, same time, same place. Always. He hung up. I stood there in the living room, 3 feet from the balcony door, invisible, silent, frozen, not breathing, not thinking, just existing, in a space where the ground had disappeared, where the air had thinned, where everything I thought I knew had turned to smoke. He came inside, saw me, stopped. His face, that beautiful, sculpted, confident face, went through a dozen emotions in 2 seconds. Shock, fear, calculation, recovery. He smiled. That sell you a car smile. Hey, you're home early, how was the fitting? I didn't smile back. I couldn't, my face wouldn't move, my voice wouldn't work. My body was still processing the words I'd heard, the words he'd said, about me, about us. About the wedding, about her, whoever she was, the reality, the want, the need, the love. Who were you talking to? I asked, my voice flat, empty, like someone else was speaking, someone braver, someone angrier. Someone who hadn't just had their entire future implode in 30 seconds. What? He laughed, nervous, fake. Oh, that work call, client, difficult negotiation, you know how it is. Work call, I repeated, a client who you love. You've always loved since before me, who you call tomorrow from the office. Same time, same place, always. The color drained from his face, all of it. The tan, the confidence, the charm, gone, replaced by something pale, something small. Something scared? You heard, he said, not a question, a statement, a fact, a death sentence. I heard, I said, everything, the image, the part we play, the reality she represents, the love you have, the love you don't have, for me, for us. For any of this, Emma, he said, quick, desperate, reaching for my hand, I pulled away. Emma, it's not what you think, it's complicated. She's an old friend from college, we have history, but we're not. It's just talk, just comfort, just someone who understands me, who I can be honest with about the pressure, the expectations, the wedding. It's overwhelming for both of us. You know that, you felt it too. Honest, I repeated. You can be honest with her, but not with me. Your fiancé, your partner, the person you're marrying in 3 weeks, the person who's part of your image, your Instagram-worthy life, your supportive wife, the person who doesn't know, who can't know. Not before, not after, never. That's not, I didn't mean, I was just venting, just saying things to make her feel better, to explain why I'm distant, why I can't be what she wants. It's not real, it's just words, just. Performance for her, not for you, never for you. A performance, I said. Like our wedding, like our marriage, like our life, just a performance for everyone, for me, for her, for whoever's watching, whoever's listening, just words. Just parts, just nothing real, nothing true, nothing that matters. Emma, please, he said, his voice cracking, his eyes wet, the first real emotion I'd seen. Fear, pure, desperate fear. Please don't do this, don't blow this up. We can fix this, we can talk, we can go to counseling, we can postpone the wedding, take time, figure things out, but don't end this, don't tell people, don't ruin everything for both of us, for our families, for our future. We have a future, we can have a future if we just try. I looked at him, at this man I'd loved, at this man I'd planned to marry, at this man who just called me part of his image, his performance, his never no secret. And I felt nothing, not anger, not sadness, not even betrayal, just emptiness, a void where love had been, where trust had lived, where future had grown. I need to think, I said. I need space. I'm going to my sister's. Don't call me, don't text me, don't come find me. I'll reach out when I'm ready, if there's anything to reach out about. I packed a bag, fast, mechanical, underwear, toothbrush, phone charger. The dress I'd bought for our honeymoon, a white sundress. Ironic now, tragic now, I shoved it in without looking, without feeling, without caring. Brad stood in the doorway, watching, pleading, silent, his mouth opening and closing. No words coming out, or words he couldn't say, or words I couldn't hear. I didn't look at him, didn't touch him, didn't say goodbye. I left. Drove to my sister's apartment, 20 minutes, crying the whole way, not pretty crying. Ugly crying, the kind that makes your face swell, your nose run, your vision blur, the kind that makes driving dangerous. But I didn't care about anything, except getting away, from him, from the apartment, from the wedding. From the life that had just died. My sister, let's call her Rachel, opened the door, took one look at me, didn't ask questions, just pulled me inside, hugged me, held me, let me cry on her shoulder for an hour, maybe 2. Until I was empty, until I was dry, until I could speak. I told her everything, the phone call, the words, the image, the performance, the reality he wanted but couldn't have publicly, the love he had for someone else, the love he didn't have for me, the wedding that wasn't happening, the future that didn't exist. She listened, all of it, without interrupting, without judging, just holding my hand, passing me tissues, pouring me wine, the good wine. The expensive wine, the someone just died wine. When I finished, she was quiet for a moment, then she said, "What do you want to do?" "I don't know," I said. "I don't know anything, I can't think, I can't feel, I just need to not be there, not be with him, not be part of that lie, that performance, that image." "Okay," she said, "you stay here as long as you need, we'll figure it out together, one step at a time." That was Saturday. Spent Sunday in bed, staring at the ceiling, checking my phone. Brad had texted 47 messages, long ones, short ones, desperate ones, apologetic ones, ones that said, "I love you and I'm sorry and please talk to me and we can fix this and don't tell anyone and think about the wedding and think about us and think about everything we've built." I didn't reply. I couldn't. What was there to say? What could fix this? What words could unhear what I'd heard, unknow what I knew, unbreak what was broken? Monday morning, I called in sick to work. Rachel went to her job. I was alone, in her apartment. With my thoughts, my phone, my 47 unread messages, and something else. Something I hadn't looked at since Saturday. Something I'd shoved in my bag without thinking, without meaning to. But there it was. Brad's laptop, not his work laptop. His personal one, the one he used for everything else, for browsing, for streaming, for personal stuff. I'd grabbed it by mistake, or not by mistake, I didn't know, I didn't remember packing it, but it was there, on Rachel's coffee table. Closed, silent, waiting, I stared at it for an hour, telling myself not to open it, not to invade his privacy, not to become the thing I hated, the snoop, the spy, the distrustful partner, but I already was that, he'd made me that. With his secrets, his lies, his performances, his image. I was already living in a world without trust, without honesty, without boundaries that meant anything. I opened it. No password, he never used one. Nothing to hide, he'd always said. I trust you completely. The irony, the cruelty, the lie. I checked his messages first. iMessage, sync to his phone, the conversation with her, the one from the balcony. The reality, the love. Her name was Sarah, not a college friend, a colleague from his company, from his office. They'd worked together for 3 years. Friends, he'd told me, just friends. She has a boyfriend, I'm with you. Nothing to worry about. But the messages told a different story, a story that started 2 years ago, 2 months after we moved in together. Innocent at first, work stuff, lunch plans, great job on the presentation. Then, personal. Rough day, need to vent. Then, intimate, thinking about you, can't stop. Then, explicit, things I won't repeat, things I can't unread, things that made me want to burn the laptop, burn the apartment, burn everything. They met up. Regularly, same time, same place, the office, after hours, the parking garage, hotels, sometimes during work trips, sometimes during late nights at the office, sometimes during gym sessions. Every lie I'd believed, every excuse I'd accepted, every trust I'd given, all of it, fuel for their affair, their reality, their love, and the worst part, the absolute worst part, they talked about me, constantly. Emma's planning the wedding again, so boring. So predictable, but it looks good, the image is solid. Emma asked about my day, I gave her the usual, she bought it, she always buys it. Emma thinks we're happy, that's the important part, what she thinks, not what we feel. Not what we are. I read it all, every message, every photo, every detail. It took hours, it felt like days, like years, like a lifetime of betrayal compressed into one morning. One laptop, one coffee table, one broken woman. And then I found the other messages, the ones not to Sarah, the ones to his friends, his guy friends, the ones I'd met, liked, trusted, the ones who'd been at our engagement party, who'd congratulated us, who'd said we were perfect together. Emma's clueless, it's hilarious. Sarah and I are getting bolder, might get caught, worth it. The wedding's happening, Emma's parents are paying, free party, why not? After the wedding, maybe I'll tell her. Maybe I won't, depends on how good Sarah is at keeping quiet. Either way, I'm set, married man, stable image, side piece for excitement, best of both worlds. Best of both worlds, those words, that phrase, I kept reading it. Over and over, like it would change meaning, like it would become less cruel, less calculating, less evil, but it didn't, it was what it was, a plan, a strategy, a game with me as the prize, the fool, the mark. I closed the laptop. Stood up, walked to the bathroom, threw up everything, the wine, the tears, the betrayal, the bile, it all came out. Violent, purging, cleansing, or trying to be. I looked in the mirror, at my face. Swollen, red, ugly, unrecognizable. Who was this person, this woman who'd been so blind, so trusting, so used? Was I really that stupid, that naive, that desperate for love that I'd ignored every sign, every red flag, every moment of distance, every work trip, every late night, every time he'd been too tired or too stressed or not in the mood? Maybe, probably, yes, but I was done. Done being blind, done being used, done being the image, the performance, the part. I was going to be something else, something real, something angry, something dangerous. I opened the laptop again, but not for messages, for something else. Something I'd seen in passing, something that caught my eye, an email from his boss. From his company, from the place where he and Sarah worked, where they met, where they cheated, where they built their reality on the ruins of my trust. The email was about a promotion. Brad was up for VP of sales, big raise, big title. Big future. The meeting was next week. The decision was pending. His boss, let's call him Richard, was gathering feedback. Looking for any concerns, the email said. Any red flags, any reason to pause. This is a sensitive promotion. High visibility, we need to be sure. Any concerns, any red flags, any reason to pause. I stared at those words for a long time, thinking, planning, calculating, the way Brad would, the way he'd taught me without meaning to. Strategy, image, performance, but this time, for real, for revenge, for justice, for every lie, every betrayal, every best of both worlds. I composed an email from Brad's account to Richard, short, simple, factual, attached screenshots of the messages. The photos, the plans, the image, the performance. The affair with a colleague, the deception of his partner, the manipulation of his company, the lies that built his career, his relationship, his entire life, I wrote. Richard, I think you should see this before making your decision. This is who Brad really is, what he really does, how he really operates. The image is just that, an image. The reality is different. I thought you should know. A concerned party. I didn't sign my name, I didn't need to. The screenshots spoke for themselves. The timestamps, the photos, the explicit details, the planning, the strategy, the best of both worlds. I hesitated for a moment. My finger over the send button, wondering if this was too far, too cruel, too destructive, wondering if I was becoming the villain, the crazy ex, the woman scorned, the cautionary tale. But then I remembered the balcony, the words. The image, the performance, the reality. The 47 messages, the 2 years of lies, the wedding that was never real, the marriage that was never love, the future that was never mine. I pressed send. It was done. Irreversible, permanent. Like the betrayal, like the truth, like everything that came after. Brad called me that night, screaming, not crying, not pleading, screaming, "You fucking bitch, you destroyed me, you destroyed everything. My job, my career, my life." Richard called me, showed me the email, the screenshots, everything. I'm suspended. Pending investigation. Sarah too, we're both fucked because of you, because you couldn't just walk away, just leave. Just let it go, I said, my voice calm, strange, foreign. Like you let us go, like you let our wedding go, like you let 2 years of my life go into your image, your performance. Your best of both worlds. You didn't have to ruin my career, he said, quieter now, defeated, desperate. That wasn't part of this, that was separate, that was mine, you took everything. You took everything first, I said. My trust, my love, my future, my family, my money, my time, my heart. You took it all and you gave it to her, to your reality, to your love. I just returned the favor, showed people who you really are, what you really do. How you really operate, the same thing you did to me, every day for 2 years, just more honest, more direct, more true. He hung up, or I did, I don't remember, the call ended, and I sat there in Rachel's apartment. In the dark with the laptop, with the truth, with the consequences. The next day, Tuesday, my phone exploded. Messages from Brad's friends, the ones who'd laughed with him, who'd known, who'd covered. Crazy bitch, psycho X, ruined a good man's life, hope you're happy, karma's coming for you, you'll die alone. I blocked them all, everyone, deleted the messages, erased the contacts, cut the ties, all of them, then. Messages from my friends, the ones who didn't know, who were shocked, who'd bought the image, the performance, the happy couple. What happened? Are you okay? We heard something from someone. Is it true? The wedding's off. What did you do? I didn't reply. Not yet. I didn't know what to say, how to explain, where to begin. The story was too long, too complicated, too raw, too everything. Wednesday. I went back to work because I had to, because rent doesn't pay itself. Because life continues, even when it shouldn't, even when you want it to stop, to pause, to let you catch your breath. It doesn't, it just goes. My coworkers knew, somehow, someone had heard, someone had talked. The tech world is small. Gossip travels fast. Did you hear about Emma? Her fiancé cheated. She got revenge, told his boss, got him fired or suspended or something. Crazy, right? I heard the whispers, saw the looks, felt the distance, the judgment, the fear. Like I was contagious, like revenge was a disease, like I'd crossed a line that everyone knew about but nobody named. My boss called me in. Thursday afternoon, closed door, serious face. Emma, we need to talk about your situation. It's affecting the team, the morale, the culture. People are uncomfortable, distracted. This isn't the kind of energy we want in the office. The drama, the negativity, it's not who we are. Who are you? I asked, my voice flat, tired. What energy do you want? The energy where women get cheated on and stay quiet, where betrayal is private, where men get promoted and women get gaslit. Is that your culture, your morale, your team? That's not what I'm saying, he said, flustered, defensive. We're a professional environment. Personal issues should stay personal. This public display, this vindictiveness, it's not professional, it's not appropriate, it's not sustainable, I repeated. For me or for you, for the company, for the image. He didn't answer, just looked at his desk, his hands anywhere but me. We're going to have to let you go, he said, quiet, quick. Like ripping off a band-aid. Effective immediately, severance package, 2 months, standard, non-disclosure, non-disparagement. We think it's best for everyone, for you, for us, for moving forward. Moving forward, I didn't argue. Didn't fight, didn't cry, just nodded, stood up, walked out, collected my things, the photo of Brad and me from my desk, the one where we looked happy, looked real, looked like love. I threw it in the trash, along with the plant I'd nurtured. The mug I'd favored, the life I'd built. I left, drove back to Rachel's, told her everything. The email, the firing, the fallout, the future or lack of it. She held me again like before, but different, heavier, harder, more complicated. What now? She asked. I don't know, I said. I really don't, I thought. Telling his boss would feel good, would feel right, would feel like justice, like truth, like finally, being seen, being heard, being believed. But it doesn't, it just feels empty. Like I won a game I didn't want to play, like I got revenge on someone who doesn't exist anymore. The Brad I loved. The Brad I thought I knew, he's gone, he was never real. But who did I punish? A stranger, a performance, an image, and what did I get in return? Fired, alone, sleeping on my sister's couch, at 29, with no job, no fiancé, no wedding, no future, just emptiness. Rachel didn't have answers. Nobody did. We ordered pizza, ate in silence, watched bad TV, went to bed, separate rooms, separate lives, separate everything. Friday, I woke up to more messages from Brad's mom, his dad, his stepmom, his stepsister, all variations of the same theme. How could you? He made a mistake. Men cheat, it's what they do. You ruined his life. You should have talked to him, to us, to someone. Before destroying everything. The wedding was going to be beautiful. We were so happy for you. You broke our hearts. I didn't reply, couldn't. What was there to say? That their son was a liar, that their happiness was built on my pain. That their beautiful wedding was a performance, a scam, a best of both worlds. Saturday, a week since the balcony, since the phone call, since the truth, since everything. I got a message from Sarah, the other woman. The reality, the love. Can we talk, she wrote. Not to fight, not to blame, just to understand, to, I don't know, to process, to figure out what happens now to both of us, to everything. I almost deleted it. Almost blocked her, almost pretended she didn't exist. Like Brad had pretended I didn't exist, in his reality, in his truth, in his love, but I didn't, I replied. Okay, coffee, neutral place, tomorrow, Sunday, we met. At a coffee shop, downtown, busy, public, safe. She was smaller than I expected, prettier, sadder, younger, 26, marketing, same industry, different company. She'd worked with Brad for 3 years, the affair had started 2 years ago. After a work event, drinks, confessions. He told me you were distant, that the relationship was dying, that he stayed for the apartment, the convenience, the image, that I was what he really wanted, what he really needed. The only one who understood him. I believed him, she said, because I wanted to, because he was charming, because he made me feel special, seen, important, the same way he made you feel. I realized that now, I didn't then. I thought I was different, the exception, the reality, not the image, not the performance, but I was all of it, just later, just differently. He told me the wedding was off, she continued, after you left. After the phone call, he said you were crazy, unstable, that you'd invented things, misunderstood things, that there was no affair, no betrayal, just a misunderstanding, a overreaction, and I believed him, again, because I wanted to. Because it was easier. Then Richard called, showed me the screenshots, the emails, the plans, the best of both worlds. And I realized I'd been as blind as you, as used, as manipulated. He wasn't choosing between us. He wasn't torn, he wasn't conflicted. He was playing us both for his image, his career, his convenience, his game. We were both marks, both fools, both. Nothing to him, real or image, it didn't matter, we were just pieces. On his board, in his strategy, in his everything, she cried. I'd run out of tears, out of feelings, out of everything. What now, she asked. For you, for me, for us? There is no us, I said. We're not friends, we're not allies. We're not anything, we were both hurt by the same person. That doesn't make us connected. That doesn't make us similar. That just makes us victims of the same con, the same lie, the same performance. But maybe, she said, maybe we can be something else, not friends, but witnesses to each other, to what happened, to what he did, to what we survived. Maybe that's enough, maybe that's something. I looked at her, at this woman I'd hated, blamed, resented, without knowing. Without meeting, without understanding, and I saw myself younger, sadder, more hopeful, more broken, but also stronger in a way, for being here, for admitting, for trying. Maybe, I said, maybe that's something, but not now, not yet. I need time, space, distance, from all of it, from him, from you, from the whole mess. I need to figure out who I am without him, without the wedding, without the image, without the performance. I need to find reality, my reality, not his. Not yours, mine, she nodded, understood, respected. We finished our coffee, parted ways, no hug, no promise, no future, just two women who'd shared a man, a lie, a pain, and were trying to survive, to heal, to become something else. Something real, something true. That was 2 weeks ago. Now, today, I'm still at Rachel's, still unemployed, still unmoored, still figuring it out. Brad was fired officially, not suspended. Fired with cause. The investigation found more. More affairs, more lies, more manipulation, more best of both worlds. He wasn't just a cheater, he was a pattern, a predator, a professional at using people for image, for pleasure, for career, for everything. Sarah quit her job. Moved to another city, started over. We text sometimes, not friends, but witnesses to each other, to survival. My parents, they were devastated at first, about the wedding, the money, the embarrassment, the what will people think, but then. They saw me, really saw me, the emptiness, the pain, the loss, and they changed, became supportive, protective, angry at Brad, angry at the lie, angry at the world that lets men like him thrive. For so long, on so many, they offered to help. Financially, emotionally, with whatever I needed. I took some, not all, enough to survive, to breathe, to plan. The wedding venue refunded half, the florist, the caterer, the photographer. Some gave full refunds out of pity, out of principle. Out of we've seen this before, we know how it hurts. Others kept deposits, standard policy, non-refundable, the cost of cancellation, the cost of truth, the cost of everything. I sold the dress. Online to another bride, another dream. Another future. I hope hers is real, I hope hers is true, I hope she doesn't end up on her sister's couch. Wondering, worrying, waiting, I started therapy. Real therapy, not the let's fix the relationship kind. The let's fix me kind, the let's figure out who I am kind. The let's learn to trust again kind. It's hard, slow, painful, like physical therapy for a heart, for a soul, for a sense of self that got broken, bent, twisted, into someone else's image, someone else's performance. My therapist says I did the right thing, telling his boss, exposing the truth. She says silence protects abusers, that secrets are their power, that speaking up, even when it's messy. Even when it costs you, even when it doesn't feel like justice, it's still important, still necessary, still something. But she also says I need to examine my motives, my methods, the way I did it from his laptop without his knowledge. Anonymous, sneaky, the same way he operated, the same way he hurt me. Was I becoming him? In my revenge, in my justice, in my everything? I don't know, I genuinely don't. I think about it every day, every night. When I can't sleep, when I stare at Rachel's ceiling, when I wonder what would have happened if I'd confronted him directly, told him to tell his boss, given him a chance, a choice, a moment of honesty, in a life built on lies. Would it have changed anything? Would he have confessed, resigned, changed, or would he have lied, manipulated, turned it around on me, made me the crazy one, the vindictive one, the woman who couldn't let go, just like he did with Sarah? With his friends, with everyone, I don't know, I'll never know. That's the hardest part. The not knowing, the forever wondering. The what if that haunts every decision, every moment, every breath. What I do know is this: the wedding is off. Marriage is dead, the relationship is ashes, and I'm still here, still breathing, still trying, still figuring out who I am without him, without the image, without the performance. I'm looking for jobs, new city, new start, new everything. Rachel says I can stay as long as I need, but I need to leave, to move, to become someone new, somewhere new with new people, new stories, new possibilities. I kept the ring, not to wear, to sell. Eventually, when I'm ready. When the memory doesn't hurt so much. When the symbol doesn't burn, it's in a box, in a drawer, in Rachel's guest room, waiting like me, like everything. So, Reddit, am I the asshole for telling his boss, for getting him fired? For destroying his career, his image, his best of both worlds, for crossing a line that some say shouldn't be crossed, for mixing personal betrayal with professional consequences, for being vindictive, crazy, psycho, for not just walking away, for not just letting it go, for not being the bigger person, the better woman, the silent victim, or was I justified in my anger, in my pain, in my need for truth, for justice, for something, anything? To make the betrayal mean something, to make the lies matter, to make the 2 years of my life, not just wasted, not just nothing. I don't expect a clean answer. I don't think there is one. I think life is messy. Revenge is messy. Justice is messy. Love is messy. Everything is messy. And we just do our best with what we have, with what we know, with what we feel. At the time, in the moment, with the information, the emotion, the desperation, the hope. I did what I did. I can't undo it. I can't unsend that email. Can't unfire him, can't unhurt Sarah, can't unlose my job, can't unbreak my heart, can't anything. I can only move forward one day, one step, one breath at a time towards something. I don't know what yet, but something real, something true, something mine, not an image, not a performance, not a best of both worlds. Just me, Emma, 29, single, unemployed, sleeping on my sister's couch, but alive. But here, but trying, and maybe that's enough for now, for today, for this moment, until the next one, and the next, and the next, until eventually, I'm somewhere else, someone else, something else. Thank you for listening, for reading, for being here, for not judging, or for judging. Either way, it helps to be seen, to be heard, to be real in a world of images, of performances, of secrets, of lies. Take care of each other, and yourselves, and maybe check your balconies, your laptops, your best of both worlds, before they check you, before they break you, before they become everything, and you become nothing. That's all. That's the whole story, longer than I expected, heavier than I wanted. But true as I can make it, as true as memory allows, as true as a woman on her sister's couch, at 29 with no wedding, no job, no future, but still here, still breathing, still, somehow, hoping. Thanks for watching this Reddit story. If you want to hear more stories, we can start again.